Today on the Belk on Business podcast, we're going to jump into the topic of 5 areas of effective communication. 5 areas of effective communication, and kind of thinking through as we're kind of entering quarter 4, actually will this week. I know some of my clients, even just yesterday, I was talking to one of my clients, and he was talking about how he's having his year-end meeting coming up here in the next within the next month, and trying to get that out of the way and meet with his team prior to getting into the holiday season. As I sat down and began to think about meetings and meeting with our teams, whether it's one-on-one conversation, or I think even more importantly, as we move into year end and begin to prepare for our year end meetings, what are some of the elements that every meeting should include? And I don't mean that all 5 of these should be in every meeting. I think that at least one of these should be involved in every meeting. The first one is going to have to do a little bit more as it relates to the purpose. And then moving beyond that, I think when we talk about addressing a problem in a meeting or an issue in a meeting, that you're going to hit usually one of the 4 other topics. So just 5 areas I think that we need to have involved, one of these at least in every single one of our meetings, to make the meeting, I would say, effective, and to be able to open up to have effective communication in the meeting. First is that of relevance. When I talk about relevance, is kind of really asking the question of why are we doing what we're doing? I think it's extremely important that we always keep the reason why we're doing what we're doing in front of us. And I think as business owners, as maybe you're not a business owner, maybe you're a manager in the business, you're responsible for leading people in the business. When you go through and you meet with your team, to always be reminding them of the purpose and the relevance of why it is we do what we do. So it can be simply talking about the product or the service that we're bringing, and the value that it brings to the end user, to our customer, to our client, or beyond that, the purpose or the broader purpose of the organization. To always keep that in front of the individual, and not just company-wide, but also the relevance of that individual. Where does that person fit in the business, and make sure that they're aware of that they are valued, that they are important, and why they are there individually, and the larger why of the company. Second area that we really can open up as far as being able to communicate effectively in our meetings is that of business-mindedness. And as I mentioned before, I think these last 4 really, again, kind of, especially this first one, really going to, if we're dealing with a problem or an issue in the business, one area that we may want to consider making sure that we're bringing to the forefront as it relates to our communication, and that is business-mindedness. And this goes beyond just what we're measuring. A lot of times I hear that weekly meetings or quarterly meetings have to do with, here are our KPIs, have we hit them, or we're underperforming here, and those are kind of brought to the forefront. And I think those are important, but moving beyond just those performance indicators, but also really getting into the root of how we think. How do we do what we do? So beyond just the why, okay, which we talked about here a moment ago, but into the how. And I think a lot of that is driven by our core values. And so why do we think? How do we think? And the how and the why we think is really going to boil down to our core values. We communicate this way with our customers, with our clients, with our vendors, with each other, because these are our core values. And as we go through and we keep those core values in front of our people, and that's going to be really kind of what guides a lot of our communication and the way that we think. So business-mindedness. Next is that of innovation. And sometimes we need to meet with our team and the topic of innovation, maybe some area that we can do something better. Maybe it's a technology. Think of innovation, a lot of times we think of technology or process. So maybe there's some technology that needs to come in to help us, and open that up, open the floor up to the team. Have we looked into some technology that may be able to help address this problem? Maybe we're not effectively communicating with our customers. Maybe we need to get a better CRM, or maybe we need to just get more proactive in picking up the phone and calling. Okay, and maybe that needs to be part of the process. But improving communication sometimes can really boil down to looking at innovation, and that can come through either through process or through technology. Next, that of quality. So in our meeting, the issue of quality may come up. It may be kind of a major point of our meeting. Our quality has kind of dropped down. I was listening to a podcast here within the last couple of weeks, and the owner really found out that the one driver that really helped improve their business was just simply stepping up the quality, and it was in the food service industry. And so it was a franchise, and they were getting pushed back as to, hey, you have to use this particular product. And because she was using that product, she saw sales began to drop. And she went through and said, I think I can pinpoint what the problem is, and then just kind of focused on quality. I may lose a little bit in profit margin initially when I have to spend more money on a better product to be able to deliver more value to our clients, but in the long run, I think most of the time we will see our bottom line will increase, that the customers see that we're bringing value and we're improving quality, we're going beyond maybe what is expected, and because of that, we'll see our bottom line grow. And so sometimes it needs to be the topic of our communication in our meetings. Where are we failing in this area of quality? Are we not delivering as good or a better product than maybe what the customer or the client is expecting? And the last area of communication in a meeting could be that of empowerment. And I think as a business owner, as a leader in a business, we need to constantly be looking for ways that we can empower our people to shift some of the power that we have in the business to those that work for us. And when I talk about empowerment, really getting down to being able to give the authority, power, and permission to act to those that work for us. I think really many times the worst types of communication, or worst areas of communication as well, but of leadership, can be that of a dictatorial type of a leadership style, or almost just as bad, a micromanagement type of a style. But give the tools to our team that they need to be able to do as best of a job as they possibly can do. Whether we're talking physical tools and even beyond that, the kind of those intangible tools, those developmental tools that we can give to our team to be able to empower them to be able to act in a way that's going to improve the business overall. So 5 areas that we can really look at, and one or more of these areas that should be involved, I think, in every single one of our meetings, when we meet with our team, when we talk to our team members, to be able to become a better business, to be able to improve the deliverable that we're bringing to our client, and become just a better, more effective business overall. Hope this brought you some value. My name is Josh Belk. This was the Belk on Business podcast. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe. Have a wonderful day.